Burpee Home Gardens is a proud supporter of the edible garden. Visit Shop in the Garden to purchase plants and seeds or burpeehomegardens.com for more information.
Hi, I'm Sonia Uyterhoeven from the New York Botanical Garden. I'm here in the conservatory kitchen today, and I thought I'd talk to you about preserving herbs. We're winding down the season, and I'm anxious to get these herbs preserved for the winter. When I harvest my herbs, I go out early in the morning and I harvest them on a sunny day. Make sure it's not wet, otherwise the moisture will stay on the herbs and they may get moldy when you try and dry them. Now there's several ways of preserving your herbs, and I'll talk about a few of them today. We'll talk about drying herbs, freezing your herbs, and also making herb butter. First, I'd like to talk about drying herbs. There's many herbs that dry beautifully. Sage is one, bay, thyme, oregano, rosemary. The easiest way to dry herbs is actually in a microwave. Now in your microwave, put the herbs on high for about 3 minutes on a paper towel, and then when it comes out, it will be nice and crisp. The way you tell if it's ready is just crumple it with your finger, and if it breaks into pieces and starts to crackle, you know the herb is dry. So for this time, I have it on a screen. You could also dry it on a rack or in a low basket. Just leave it there for several days. It will take between 3 days and a week, maybe a little bit longer to dry. If you have large leafed herbs, you can also dry them on a screen. You would have to separate them from the stem, but what's easy to do is to create a little bundle, and I usually take between 3 or 5 stems, and this works wonderfully for these hard-stemmed herbs like the sage, and I take a rubber band and I wrap it around one end, twist it several times until it's nice and tight, and then twist it around another stem, and then you have it nice and secure. So once the herbs start to dry, the rubber band will give with the herbs. Now you can hang it simply by taking a paper clip and hanging it on a hanger and let it dry, and again it will take about a week or so to dry. So once your herbs are dry, store them in an airtight container. I always put the name of the herb and the date. They last for about a year. Take the herb off, store the separate leaves in, and it's better to actually store the leaves whole. The whole leaves will retain the flavor. And then once you're ready to use the herb, take it out of the container and just crinkle it, and it will release the oils and you're ready to cook with it. So now I'd like to show you a few ways that you could freeze your herbs. Many herbs freeze much better than they dry. Basil, chives, parsley, and tarragon are just a few. Now for those of you that have worked with basil before, you'll know that often when you put it in the freezer it turns black, it oxidizes. An easy way to prevent that is to blanch it. Now how you blanch it is you simply take the basil and put it in boiling water, just swirl it around for just a few seconds. It'll turn bright green, pull it out, and then dip it immediately into ice water and also swirl it around. And what you're doing there is you're stopping the cooking process. So once the basil is finished, take it on a towel, a dish towel, and pat it dry, and then you're ready to freeze it. Now you can freeze the leaves full, so just strip them off, put them into a bag, and freeze them, but you can also take it and put it in your blender and chop it up. Add some olive oil into it, and then you can place it either in an ice cube tray or put it in your Ziploc bag to freeze. One of my favorite ways of preserving herbs is to actually make herb butter. What I usually do is I take a stick of butter, I let it soften, and I take my favorite herbs and add it, chop them up, and add it into the butter. I love to put in tarragon, it's one of my favorite herbs, parsley, basil, chives, and just take it, mash it together. Once you've finished, you can wrap it in wax paper. The herb butter will stay in your freezer for about 6 months, and in your fridge it will last for a few weeks. So here we are with our finished product. For the dried herbs, remember that you should store them in an airtight container away from heat and light, and they should last for about a year. With the herb butter, it will last for 6 months in your freezer. And for your other herbs that you're freezing, you can either freeze them whole or chopped into pieces, and they should also last for about 6 months. For some more ideas and information, please visit our website, nybg.org.